mountain biking on Zwift. Who would have thought? I'm a mountain biker through and through, yet I found in the last 2 seasons that Zwift is a really good way to stay in shape in the off season so that you're in prime riding shape come spring and summertime. Yet admittedly, Zwift very often still feels like work to me. So I was extremely excited to learn about the new mountain bike feature for Zwift. I want to quickly show you how do you actually access this feature in Zwift. You actually access it through a typical road course. I want to show you kind of what you have to have and what you have to do to make it work. And then just show you what it looks like and then give you a mountain biker's perspective. So check it out. You're going to need some sort of bike mounted to some sort of smart trainer. I'm using the Wahoo Kickr Core. Works quite well. You're going to need to pair this one up with your laptop. You have to use your smartphone for the Zwift companion app. That's what controls the steering. And because of that, you're going to need a reliable way to mount your smartphone to your handlebars, because turning the phone is essentially what will turn the bike in the app. Typically, we use this stand for the front wheel. That, at least on carpet, doesn't allow for smooth turning, and so you're going to need a bacon box. Maybe not literally a bacon box, but I found that the slit cardboard on this old box actually allows for much smoother, much easier turning. To access the mountain bike trails, go into the app, go into Watopia, select Mirror in the Mountain, and then let it rip. When you start this ride, you won't do anything except ride for 2.2 miles. You'll go through Titans Grove, and at about the 2.2 mile marker, you're going to get a prompt to either continue straight or to take a mystery turn to the right. In the companion app, select at the bottom left of the screen the right turn arrow. Once you make that selection, keep on pedaling. It will automatically put you onto the dirt trail that you see here to your right. Keep on pedaling. You're still not steering at this point until you reach this gate. It will then prompt you to select Let's Go on the companion app and then start, and then you're ready to roll. You're going to spin down, and then you are literally mountain biking in Zwift. I will say, take just a second at the lower left of your screen on your laptop, dial down the sensitivity to about that quarter mark would be my recommendation. You can see it's still very sensitive on the steering, even at that level. That's going to help it to not be overly sensitive. And you're literally in control at this point of your right to left steering. As mentioned, it's pretty sensitive. It takes a minute to get used to. And you can see when you get off course, it really slows you down significantly. But take note, anytime you see the blue line, like you can see here, try to stay with that line because that's going to give you the smoothest and the fastest route. During one of my rides, I encountered another rider. I really enjoy the competitive aspect of Zwift, but it adds a whole nother layer when you're actually in control of the steering of the bike. It makes it feel super competitive, almost just like you're racing. And you can still draft just like you do on the regular version of Zwift. But now, not only do you have to be able to pedal harder, but you also have to control the bike better, which is pretty cool. At the end of the trail, it's a huge up. You can see I was hitting a 14 and 15% grade there. And then once you round the top, you're rewarded with a nice quick downhill section again. And take note again, you want to try to stick with the blue arrow. You can see me taking a less desirable line there, and then you literally cross the finish line here. It will give you a score. You can see I earned a 5 of 10 here, and then it will prompt you to be able to leave a review for the steering experience. I would encourage you to definitely leave a review so that Zwift knows that people are doing this and that they're interested in it. Total of 1.9 miles of the actual mountain bike trail. You gain 350 feet. So again, the most noteworthy feature of the mountain bike program on Zwift is that it actually utilizes steering. It does that via the companion app and your phone mounted to the handlebars. Takes a minute to get used to for sure. There's obviously no feature to actually lean the bike. If you're watching this video, you obviously know that Turning on a mountain bike is much more about leaning and body position than it is turning your actual handlebars. So that part's not overly realistic. But you can almost feel it engaging in your core because you're having to go right to left with your arms. Your hands and arms are at least having to be used. You definitely have to make use of your gears. Standing is definitely a good option on the short sprint climbs, which is much more reminiscent to mountain biking than what you may get on the more standard road courses on Zwift. But obviously at this point there's no sensory feedback, which is a big part of mountain biking. Hopefully we'll see trainers that incorporate these sort of features, similar to the Kickr Climb feature that at least tries to mimic a more realistic experience regarding your elevation. It would also be cool to maybe even have a trainer where you feel more vibration and other sensory feedback based on the terrain that you're on. The smoothness of the course, it almost looks like you're riding on sand or loose pack for most of the trail. I'm currently on 14% grade. The end of the current mountain bike course ends on an incredibly steep up with a quick down at the very end. It definitely has quicker variations in terrain, which is obviously more reminiscent of mountain biking than road biking. I'm actually showing a 15% grade now. So there you have it, mountain biking in the Zwift app. As mentioned, it's not overly realistic from a mountain biking perspective, but it's certainly much more engaging than the regular Zwift experience. You do have to utilize steering, which makes it a little bit more entertaining and engaging to use. It has been a great way for me to kind of throw some variety into my regular Zwift training. Zwift in general, I think, is good for a mountain biker in the off season to really work on and even build endurance. It lets you focus on metrics that you're not always thinking about when you're mountain biking, particularly how to hold down power for a longer period of time. I think that Zwift is very helpful for that, and you'll find that you can climb much harder. You can put down more power in flat sections between cornering and turns, and I think that that's very useful for the mountain biker. Do I think that someone should go out and buy a smart trainer just for the Zwift mountain biking? And the answer at this point is of course not, because the trail offering is only 1.9 miles long. This is for somebody that's already utilizing Zwift, already has a smart trainer, and they want to kind of mix it up and find a more engaging way to use Zwift. But hopefully we're really going to see Zwift take off with this and expand the trail offerings, and I think that it'll be great for everyone. So I'll be excited to see what's coming in the future for Zwift mountain biking. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Hopefully you get some good miles in this winter, and spring can't come soon enough for me here in Kentucky. Thanks for watching.